All right, let's get right into it. In the fitness world, we've all heard that classic mantra, right? No pain, no gain. It's this idea that you've got to absolutely crush yourself in every workout to see any real results. But is that actually true? In this explainer, we're going to tear down the science of workout intensity and find out if harder is really always better. And that brings us to the core question. We're just constantly hit with this go hard or go home message. But what if the science tells a different, maybe a more interesting story? What if getting fit isn't about pushing to your absolute limit, but about something else entirely? Okay, before we go any further, we need to get on the same page about the gold standard for measuring aerobic fitness. It's a term called VO2max. All it means is the maximum amount of oxygen your body can use when you're going all out. Think of it as the size of your body's engine. A bigger engine, a higher VO2max, is one of the best predictors we have for long-term health. So this is the number we're really focused on.
So to get to the bottom of our big question, scientists decided to investigate this idea of a dose response. Does a bigger dose of intensity lead to a bigger response in fitness? It sounds pretty logical, right? More effort in should equal more results out. But, science loves to challenge our assumptions. And to do this, they didn't just run one little experiment. Nope, they went big. They did what's called a meta-analysis, which is basically a study of studies. They pulled together all the data from 28 different top-tier studies, looking at 40 different training groups in total. Why? Because this gives you a much more reliable, big-picture answer than any single study ever could.
The researchers took all this workout data and sorted it into three main groups. First, you had the moderate group, working out at about 60 to 70% of their max. Like a pretty brisk jog where you can still talk. Then you had the high-intensity group, pushing into that tough 80 to 92.5% zone. And finally, you had the all-out group, who were just sending it, working at or even way above their max capacity. Okay, so here's the million-dollar question. Thinking about no pain, no gain, which group do you think got the biggest upgrade to their fitness engine? The moderate group, the high-intensity group, or the all-out, leave-it-all-on-the-floor group? Go on, take a guess. The answer is probably not what you think.
And look at this. The results were pretty wild. The moderate group improved by 0.29, the high-intensity group by 0.26, and the all-out group by 0.35. Now, you might be looking at that and thinking, aha, the all-out bar is a little bit higher. But here's the key. In the world of statistics, that difference wasn't significant at all, which means despite the massive differences in how hard they worked, the fitness gains were pretty much identical across the board.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. The researchers themselves put it about as bluntly as you can. They said, and I quote, "The magnitude of training-induced increases in VO2 max were unaffected by exercise training intensity." Wow, that's a huge finding that just flies in the face of the idea that you have to destroy yourself to get the best results.
So the main takeaway from this part is actually incredible news. It means as long as you're working out with at least moderate intensity, so above that 60% mark, you're going to get those same fantastic improvements in your aerobic fitness. Going harder doesn't make the engine bigger.
But that has to make you wonder, right? If a pretty comfortable workout gives you the exact same fitness boost as a session from your worst nightmares, why on earth would anybody pick the harder one? It just doesn't seem to make sense. But there's another crucial part to this story.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The benefit of going harder isn't about getting a better result. It's about a critical trade-off. It's all about how efficiently you get that result.
And boom, here is the big aha moment. This chart shows the total time commitment each group had to put in to get those same fitness gains. The moderate group, they needed 387 units of time. The high-intensity group needed way less, just 230. And the all-out group, they got the exact same results in only 142 units of time. I mean, that difference is just staggering. Let's just put one big fat number on it to let it sink in. The all-out group got that same fantastic fitness boost, but spent 63% less time working out to get it. So harder isn't better, harder is faster. It's way more efficient. So really, this is the whole story. The big trade-off in a nutshell. On one side, you've got lower intensity training. It delivers great results, no question, but it asks for more of your time. On the other side, you've got higher intensity training. It gets you the exact same great results, but in a lot less time. So the choice isn't about what's better or worse. It's about what you have more of, time or tolerance for intensity.
The paper even suggests that there might be a sweet spot here. That middle group, the high intensity but not completely all-out one, could be the perfect balance for a lot of people. You get those great VO2max gains, you're way more time efficient than the moderate group, but you're not putting yourself through the absolute ringer of those all-out efforts, which probably means you're more likely to stick with it.
Okay, so let's boil it all down. What should you take away from all this? First, harder does not mean better for your VO2max gains. Second, harder absolutely means faster in terms of your time commitment. The real story here is about efficiency. And that's empowering because it means you get to choose the workout style that actually fits your life, your schedule, and what you enjoy.
And that leaves us with one final thought for you to chew on. Now that you know the trade-off, what's more valuable for your fitness journey? Is it chasing maximum intensity every time you train? Or is it finding the path of maximum efficiency that lets you be consistent and get the results you want? The answer is all yours.